Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and what if Jurassic World had an extra end credit scene? That was the premise behind After Credits. What if we could offer Marvel-style end credit scenes for all your favorite classic movies? Well, that was one of the shows that we made over on Screen Junkies Plus, and it was absolutely one of my favorites. And I've been doing videos about the history and failure of Screen Junkies Plus this past week since it's the 5-year anniversary. If you're unfamiliar with Screen Junkies Plus, well, it was a paid app that we made where we put a bunch of our own content, as well as teamed up with some of our favorite channels. And After Credits was a show that we made in tandem with How It Should Have Ended, a channel I absolutely love. If you guys don't subscribe to them, go do it. Now, I'll go through more of the background of what happened and how this all happened, but before I do any of that, there was one episode that we made that seems to have gotten lost on the internet, and that was this episode of Jurassic World. This one was just so damn funny to me, I wanted to make sure it existed somewhere on the internet. So I'm going to play it for you in its entirety, and then I'm going to come back and offer some commentary. But without further ado, here is the long-lost episode of After Credits, Jurassic World.
Previously on Jurassic World.
Hey, Blue.
Oh, hey, Rexy.
I haven't really seen you much since we took out that Indominus Rex together.
I've been pretty busy. Sorry. Pack stuff.
Yeah, I get it. That was a really good night, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But it was a one-time thing, Rexy.
Is that how you really feel?
Don't do this. It would never work between us. I'm a raptor. You're a T-Rex.
So, let's just run away together!
It's just not natural.
Nothing about this place is natural, Blue. We're like 2/3 frog.
I can't run away with you.
You can run, Blue. With me, you're smart enough to open doors. Open the door to your heart.
And go where?
We could find some kids in a jeep to terrorize like the old days. Or open a restaurant like that Margaritaville in the park, but less tacky.
Listen to you go on.
I know. You'll never go for that.
Don't you ever say never to me, Rexy.
Then I'll say I love you, Blue.
Oh, Rexy, I love you too. Let's do it. Life finds a way.
I don't know why that one sticks with me so much, but it just does. It was so much fun to write. Kudos to Spencer as the voice of Blue. That was me doing Rexy. I remember Spencer and I recording that in the booth, and we couldn't stop laughing. All the noises were crazy. But I got to give the biggest props. Obviously, How It Should Have Ended, they always were helping. But the animation to that was actually done by Mike Parker's LowBrow Studios. If you guys aren't following them, I highly advise you go check them out. They have a channel on YouTube. They have an Instagram you can go find as well. But LowBrow Studios does a ton of amazing stuff. They work for Dorkly and a bunch of other stuff. But Mike over there does some amazing things. So go hit that subscribe button and support them as well. They did all of these after credits for us and so much more. Whenever we needed fun animated stuff, I always called LowBrow Mike over there because he just was fantastic. He added always more to than what the script said. You're always when you're busy, when you're making shows and content, and you write the script. Sometimes you just need to find someone who can help you do it and get it done, and you can creatively trust to make it happen. And Mike added so much nuance and funniness to that beyond even the script we could have ever imagined. And so the way after credits work, to give you some hindsight about the show and its place in Screen Junkies Plus. So the show was I think this was Spencer's idea. I'm pretty positive the show itself was Spencer's idea. But we wanted to team up with other channels. And How It Should Have Ended, we were friends with. I love Tina and Daniel. They're great people. They make an amazing channel style and the content. They always go above and beyond. And we had collaborated with them a few times. We did the Star Trek Into Darkness, where we crossed over. So we had done some crossover collaborations with them, but they're amazing artists, and their art, the animation takes a lot of time. So we had to bank these so far in advance, and we knew that they didn't have the time or the manpower, the resources to animate it. So we teamed up with Mike Parker, who they approved of, and so each time we'd write the scripts, and then Tina and Daniel would sort of chime in on the scripts, and then they would help us do the audio. We would record a lot of the dialogue tracks and so on, and then Daniel and Tina would add their own voices to make sure it felt like it was part of the How It Should Have Ended family, and they would give notes, directions to the animation and stuff. But more often than not, I think we were all just so impressed with what Mike was doing over at LowBrow that we didn't really even need to. But that's how the show progressed. And so we would do these so far in advance. We'd have to bank. I think we released about 4 of these per installment. And so the way it would happen, I think they're still here, even if you go look for it. After credits, yeah, here they are. There are some after credits you can go see over on How It Should Have Ended. And the whole idea was, all right, well, what if we could give them the best of each bank that we did? We called them banks, like we would do banks of 4 or 5 episodes. We would give them one of the episodes so they could promote it to Screen Junkies Plus, the service at the time. And so one of them would always go public, and then the rest of them would be at the end of each of these episodes. If you go back and watch them, there would be sort of a check out 3 new episodes over on Screen Junkies Plus to sort of entice people to go click and watch new ones. And so every time we'd do about 4 or 5, and then you get one free one to sort of promote it from How It Should Have Ended, and then they'd see new ones over on Screen Junkies Plus that were exclusive. And I think Jurassic World was one of those exclusive ones, and ever since it got shut down, they just have fallen into the ether of the internet, and no one knows where they are. I don't even know who. It's frustrating, but I'm glad Jurassic World is out there. Hope it stays there with this commentary. It should. But that was how After Credits worked. We designed this with the How It Should Have Ended team because we needed to promote Screen Junkies Plus. And as I'm going to talk about in more detail, I'll talk about our shows with Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, Kevin Smith, etc. I'm going to break down actually, I need to do more than one video on just the series in general because there's more to be said, and I think you guys will want to hear it. But I wanted to specifically break down After Credits so I could share that episode with you and sort of give you a broad overview of how this works. But we teamed up with How It Should Have Ended and a lot of these YouTubers just because we needed a way to promote our app. We needed a way to sort of do it beyond just the Screen Junkies channel. How could we team up with other popular channels and have them talk about our app? And so it worked to an extent. This show did well whenever we did a bank, but there were bigger problems with the app that I'll get into in the next installment to talk about the overall series problems. But this was definitely one of our better performers because we could tell every time How It Should Have Ended got it out to their audience, which was, as you can see here, 1 million people were watching this each week, the new episode. These were all about 2 to 3 minutes, and every time about 1 million people or so would watch. And so that was 1 million eyeballs that were getting our advertisement to go check out Screen Junkies Plus. The turnover of how many people actually signed up, it wasn't ginormous. I think it got better over time and so on, but it just was another sort of shiny object for some potential subscribers to see. Oh, cool, I can watch that. What was nice is every month we do one, there were another 4 episodes. So when we created Screen Junkies Plus, we wanted, I think like Netflix, Disney Plus, all these streaming platforms, what they want is they want to have that episode page. So it's like, oh, cool, 20 episodes of this and 30 episodes of that. You want to seem like you have a lot of content in there. And so that was what we were trying to get with After Credits. There's 30 after credits you can go watch. And even though they were only 2 to 3 minutes each episode, once you had 30 of them, it felt like, all right, well, that was cool. We're getting new ones week to week. But that was another problem with Screen Junkies Plus. A lot of our premium stuff was shorter. And so they were sort of expecting bigger, longer things. And we just didn't have the budget to keep providing them. This was a relatively expensive show just because we obviously wanted to pay How It Should Have Ended. We wanted to make sure they had some sort of deal, some consulting work. And then also they got some, I don't want to get into their specifics of the deal. But then we obviously paid for LowBrow Studios and any other voices that we were working with. So there were budgets on this that were higher than the other podcast shows we were doing, but we just had so much fun with this one. This one was clearly a good draw because we knew every time we give that part of the deal was like How It Should Have Ended. They got the revenue, so they were getting a free episode of content, and with 1 million views, that's not bad for them to sort of get this revenue each month on one of these things to sort of promote the other. So it was a give and take. We gave them, they gave us. And we were friendly with them. We were happy to give that, and I'm always happy to promote them. They're amazing. Got no beef with them. They're still doing great over there, so go support them. The Villain Hub, everything they do. But that was that was the main story behind After Credits. This was one I really enjoyed doing. There's more Maybe I'll release some more if you want me to. Tell me down in the comments below. Either way, I hope you will at least consider subscribing or even potentially considering clicking that join button. If you were a Screen Junkies Plus member, consider joining here. But at least like the video, leave a comment, help the engagement to get these videos going, and share the Jurassic World after credits because I think that one is just so funny. Tell me what you think. Do you remember the show? Did you have a favorite episode? Want to hear all your thoughts down below. And also, click on this stuff. The box on the left will be the playlist, all the Screen Junkies Plus videos, look backs. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.